ears.
Was that an ASMR nipple rub?
No, it's the William Hartnell thumb wiggle.
Oh.
If it's across the
Thumb wiggle.
Yeah, it's these weird little ears.
It's the Billy Bob thumb wig.
The Billy Bob thumb wig. For last week, out of date. Missed it by a week.
Well, no, because we can't. Oh no, because we won't really talk about Hartnell, will we now? Because the box set comes out next week, doesn't it? A lot of people have theirs now. I think the last.
I totally forgot. That's an early Christmas present. I
Over the last 2 days, I've seen a lot of people on Twitter
I've had it.
have had theirs delivered.
Oh, wow.
And there's updates on the special feature lists that people post online because, you know, much smarter people than you and I. But that says 23 hours and 48 minutes left. I don't know why, because I've got plenty of space, but that's a problem for another day. Hello, everyone.
Brilliant.
Welcome to Nobel Podcast episode 230.
30.
Because you come to us live-ish after the recording of... We did the Doctor Who-ness thing.
And
yes?
the 59th anniversary of the Jodie Whittaker special.
The 59th anniversary of Jodie Whittaker.
Yeah,
Jodie Whittaker is 59 years old.
Yeah.
No, she's not. She looks bloody good on it if she is. We did our 3-part epic, which at the time of when we record this isn't finished yet.
No.
Because we still got to do...
Still in production, still editing.
We still got to do the specials. But
Yes.
that's the magic. That's the thing we've got to sort out. I need to message the others and do that. But so if you wonder why the last couple of episodes we've not talked about
life.
stuff that actually happened, it's because
what is Doctor Who for those that don't know?
it's because we weren't there. We weren't there. We weren't ready.
In another timeline.
No. But now we are back and we're talking about something that's completely out of date by the time you hear this. We're going to do our Black Panther Wakanda Forever review.
Wakanda no more.
Soldier, I'm going to need your heart-shaped herb. Talk about that. We'll talk about some other stuff. You saw Glass Onion.
Yeah.
And it's on your list.
Ew.
Whereabouts?
I've not yet decided.
Oh, it's not yet decided.
TBA, TBC.
Because this is what? This is the 16th of December, and then we've got our Christmas special.
Recorded on the 30th of November.
Which
before Christmas.
Should we spoiler filled like reveal what film we're doing this Christmas? Because we've kind of got a format now.
Yes,
I'm revealing it to you.
Know about.
Yes, I'm revealing it to you live as well.
Which I knew 3 weeks ago.
And a very Merry Christmas to all of you at home.
It's really Christmas. Freaking Hartnell, I love him.
I love him so much.
I genuinely can't wait for season 2. I just forgot it was coming out next week. It's ironically that what I was going to say to you, literally as you hit record.
Go for it.
I've randomly got a sensation, an engorgement
to go to the doctors, Go to GP to check out your engorgement.
No, to check on Leela, the warrior of the 17. Because I've only ever seen Talons of Wen Chiang, Invisible Enemy, and her last one, Invasion
Where's
of
the
Time.
Invisible Enemy?
K9.
K9.
That's literally all I've seen is those 3 out of her 9-10 stories I think she's in.
Really?
So I've rewatched. So this is the first time with a collection set. I opened season 14. I watched The Deadly Assassin because I just wanted a good bit of Doctor Who that night. Classic Who. And then I watched Face of Evil 2 nights ago, and I thoroughly enjoyed that. And
Face of Evil was quite good. I like Robots of... Please do not throw hands at me.
I've only seen the first part, but no, I liked it. They're creepy.
Please do not throw hands at me. Not in part 1.
Not in part 1. Ooh.
I like Leela. Louise Jameson's great, and she's one of the few people that's come back and sort of her character has developed.
Definitely an expanded media
under Big Finish, I think. Like with the other Doctors and some of the components, because Mel has better context, doesn't she, with Big Finish, like her start and end of her journey.
I'm not entirely sure.
You get her whole the whole regeneration of Colin. It then revolves around.
You get that, I guess. Yeah, true.
Like he has the adventures with Mel and then has to go back to Miss Melanie Bush.
Miss Melanie Bush from the other Doctors. Yeah.
Do you think that Colin and her could have had a moment in Power of the Doctor?
Potentially.
Carrot juice.
Yeah, no, it would have been carrot. That's how it would have ended.
Carrot juice. Yeah. No, Penny.
Should have had them both.
Nicola Bryant. Nicola Bryant is
the
God.
British-
She's
the-
not good in Doctor Who, but like,
the British woman playing an American. Yeah.
but she means well. But the stuff she's given is just say some stupid stuff and have your tits out.
Yeah.
That's the Emma. John Nathan Turner was just like, you know,
Who
just
cares?
get Ken Dodd
Viewership.
breasts everywhere.
Viewership.
Get me
Damn it.
comedians and tits. But
Viewership.
because have you seen that interview with Peter Davison where he's like, I'm doing some of the like if we talk about Androzani and he's like, I'm doing some of the best acting of my tenure, if not career, and people somehow seem to be distracted by that. It's because Nicola Pyke's like bent over him in a low cut top, and it's like, ooh, oh dear.
Oh yes, take a little longer. Yes. Yeah.
What was he gonna say? I don't remember what I was gonna say. Yeah, stuff happened. I forgot what I was gonna say. But how have you been?
Just waiting for Poxy's
The
wedding
end.
3 weeks ago. The end of the wedding 3 weeks ago, which I've got tomorrow for me, but you've
the
experienced
past.
3 weeks ago.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah, you're all invited. You're all cordially invited.
Weddings are an awkward affair, aren't they? Especially this time of the year, because it's
especially now, yeah.
it's cold, so it's not going to be outside, and there's not going.
No.
It's going to be everyone's going to be. Oh, it's chilly. Keep your jackets on. It's chilly. Or there'll be women that are like, I've got a dress on and I'm chilly, and then you have to be, you know, you have to be kind and a gentleman and offer them your jacket.
Yeah, take my jacket. It's a bit too big for me.
And then you're chilly.
and then I'm chilly.
chilly.
Someone that's experienced.
I had a friend's wedding in August. Really hot day, and I had sunglasses that made me look like Matt Murdock. So I was just like, you know,
Proper lawyer for hire.
yeah, I was just like trying to not look like I was like blind.
Oh, did you not have your stick?
Yeah,
Was stick with you?
Stick was there. Yeah,
Stick was there.
it was actually Stick from the MCU. Yeah, we got bits of news that happened like in our timeline on time. For you guys, you're going to be like, why are you talking about this shit 3 weeks out of date? But that's how time works because we need Christmas off because of jobs and families
Life.
and
Yeah.
such.
Commitments. Yeah.
So we've bulked up on obviously the Doctor Who one,
Mhm.
with a couple now and a couple next week, and then that should be us until the second week of January, so we can all have
Blimey. Yeah.
a proper rest, rethink, and I want us to come back in January. We'll probably come back together like a bit before we record, so we can actually sort of like maybe
Plan.
go, what do we want to do this year? And we're gonna
get the old whiteboard out.
What we're gonna do? We're gonna have, you know, in the old movies. Old movies. See, we're gonna have a big fuck up cigar. Pocket on a big fake cigar.
Yes. Yes, see?
I'll put you in my movie. You'll be the voice of Batman in my movie. Get me a bourbon.
See?
Do you mean the biscuit? It's one of the best sketches. That's, I think, episode 1 of Big Dog Castle. Like, give me a bourbon. You mean the biscuit? Get me I forgot we're in London. Get me a scotch. Oh, this is an egg. And that was from where I listened to. I was like, yep, fuck me. Been catching up on the holiday special happened. We can talk about that because that's a bit of an MCU
Oh yeah,
thing.
of course. Yeah, I was like, what holiday special from 3 weeks ago? Yes, no,
Yeah.
but yeah.
And
That holiday special.
After that I was catching up on some more of not Andor because I really should because everyone have said that's fucking amazing.
Don't worry, I haven't. Oh, it's amazing.
Apparently everyone was like, this is the best Star
you
Wars.
haven't seen it. I thought you
This
were
is
just
the
gonna say it
best
is
Star
amazing.
Wars thing
Ever.
since Star Wars.
Since Obi-Wan earlier this year.
We can talk about the return of the Bob
Bob
Iger.
Oh, of course, yeah.
Of course, Bob Iger. See,
the
I'm back at
Iger.
Disney.
Can
See,
he fix it? I don't know about fixing it.
I'm gonna make you a star. I'm gonna put you in Spider-Man.
The Sonyverse, see?
Maybe we've got a new character. We've got Jon Snow. Who else have we got? We've got Bob. Yeah, I'm Bob Iger. Not Bob Chapek. He's a piece of shit. But and oh god, what was I talking about? What We Do in the Shadows. I was catching up on.
Oh, right.
I think it's my favourite season. It's
good.
So
How
good.
many episodes on Disney Plus now? Or have you
I
been
think
watching
6.
And
I think it's 6 because obviously when I told you episode 3 and 4 had come out,
it? They did,
so
yeah.
it's either
Which
we're
is
on
brilliant.
6 or we're on 8. But I watched up to ep 5 the other night because I'd only
Okay.
watched 1 and 2.
Okay.
Oh my god, it's like this is something that obviously Taika Waititi is less involved in it than he normally is
Right, of course.
because obviously a lot of it is Jermaine Clement.
Yeah. Yeah.
But he's
the
not
other guy. The other guy,
But he's it's me, the other guy, Jermaine Clement, see. But he's not on the writing team for this season because obviously he went. Yeah, because I think it was we talked about this like I think a few episodes ago back in the past time.
In the tyres.
In the tyres, yeah.
He
basically said like, oh, like he wasn't in the writers' room for season 4, whether he was joking or not. But like so far,
nothing
seems not.
Okay,
but
interesting.
Obviously, still he's a producer and influenced in that way. But it's like, oh, this is something Taika Waititi is involved in that's not hate-filled. Because if you look at Chris Hemsworth's comments about Thor,
he wants to go in a completely different direction.
Not surprising because
I'm not surprised.
He's going to have a third generation Thor because he was stoic Shakespearean and then silly comedy, and I think you need to lean back into
Norse sort of Viking mythology, like mythical legend Thor.
Because a lot of the Thor fans of the comics are like they're some of their favourite characters have not been adapted properly, like Korg and other such ones. Like you haven't got because he is stoic and silly, but he is also like to quote Thor: Love and Thunder, he is a space Viking because he's of his mentality and his battle
endurance
hardened
and stamina,
endurance
and Jean-Claude Van Damme martial arts skills in the beginning. Yeah.
But you shared like the director that was rumored to be in line,
and I hope to God it would be great if if Mr. Robert Eggers, Mr. Scotch Eggers, Scotch Eggers. No,
Robert, you want to direct my Thor movie?
You want to add some mythology?
It's not just going to be on Disney Plus, but we'll put it on there after a couple of months.
If you're lucky,
get the fuck out of my office.
Sorry, Mr. Kevin, sir. Bob the Builder.
Kevin, get the fuck in here. Why is this robot wearing a hat?
Why is he Kiwi IN? What's wrong with your name, Kev?
Where are we on the Spider-Man deal?
Where's Miss Pascal up to? Huh?
Why am I still
Take me pictures of Pascal, man.
Get me pictures of Spider-Man on Disney Plus. Far From Home's on there now, so all of them are on there.
Oh, cool.
Venom is. So the only thing.
No Way Home isn't. Is it? No Way Home.
No Way Home isn't yet. So we got No Way Home, Venom 2, and Morbius, the best of all of
the best of the bunch.
The best of, as Mr. Sunday Movies call it, the Spum.
The Spum. The
Sony Pictures universe of Marvel characters. The Spum. But
amazing. That's good. I like the Spum.
Yeah, because that shit's so good.
The Spum. Yeah, that's brilliant.
What were we talking about? I've forgotten. So I think Thor needs to move in a different direction,
Definitely.
and I would like. I think he's got at least like one more in him, and Secret Wars.
Yeah, exactly.
I feel like
he said he's one film is his last, but obviously he's going to keep the Avengers one secret because we have to kind of, if we don't get 4 before Avengers in 2025 in 6.
4 5.
4 5.
4 has happened.
4 Fantastic Four. Fantastic Four. Fantastic Four.
Well, because everyone's in Secret Wars or no one's in Secret Wars, but apparently the TVA rumors for Deadpool 3 seem to have some legitimacy. Because Miss Minutes obviously tweeted something about like Deadpool, and like Ryan Reynolds like replied, and it was like,
I didn't see this.
Hi Deadpool, and then like Ryan Reynolds like replied, and it was like, hi Miss Minutes. Like the rumor is that the TVA are involved because obviously it's a different timeline he's got involved in because of a different Hugh Jackman Wolverine. And it's rumored to involve every Fox-led movie. So like the Tim Story Fantastic Four will be in it. Maybe cameos from the fucking Fantastic ones, but like the X-Men and stuff like that.
Oh, cool.
Because if it's a jolly up with this is the last hurrah of the Fox X-Men
of this era, yeah,
and it's doing the multiverse thing, and that's how you make it work, and then you sort of close that box, and then go
reopen
it
where
the character
Wars
goes like beyond, and how you do the X-Men and stuff. Because we talked about before, the contract's still ongoing. Of the previous cast, so maybe that's how you get them all involved for one last go and be like, either say goodbye to the characters, sort of thing. But interesting. Deadpool 3 is going to be great, whatever it is. They can
whatever the end result will be. Yeah. It's a trilogy. It's a holy trinity of great movies.
I think the first one is more lightning in a bottle though than the second one. The second one's more studio interference, because the first one it was like make whatever you want because it's never fucking coming out.
It ain't coming out ever again.
Then they leaked the test footage, and it
was go from
they
there.
Had to release it.
Yeah, it was go.
And then after that, it was. Oh, I think it should be. I think it should be more like this. See.
What's that HDMI cable guy? He's from the future. Cable. What's his name?
Shatterstar has shared some stuff. Maybe Shatterstar should be in Deadpool 3.
Let alone 2.
That's the thing, because he's shared.
He has shared a tweet. Yeah. So he's kind of leaked his involvement or teasing it.
Maybe that's how you get to wait, because where is Shatterstar from?
I think X-Force.
Is he from Battle? No, he's from Go-Go World.
Go-Go World?
Yeah. I'm pretty sure.
What the hell's Go-Go World?
Because he's an alien. Like, so you're an alien.
He first appeared in New Mutants, which he became a member of X-Force. I don't know how I knew X-Force, but I don't know.
What planet's he from?
Unusual character.
Mojo
yeah,
World.
Mojo. Yeah, I heard. What did you call it?
Go-Go World.
I've not heard of that one. I know
Go-Go World, Mojo World.
Is it Arcade? He had Murder World, is it? Arcade, like the X-Men villain.
Well, Battle World is.
I thought he has Murder
Wars.
World. Yeah, Battle World is cosmic beyond the world. Yeah.
Maybe that's how you do the worlds. Then there's a West World.
Oh, gee, Vadoomtish. Oh dear.
Wow.
Yeah, but Mojo World. I have heard of Mojo, but I don't. But I thought Arcade, random X-Men villain. I thought he had Murder World.
I think something like that. They've all had, some of them. Some of them bigger, more out there fucking X-Men characters have come from some fucking planet or other, or a part
tent,
of
circus tent. Yeah.
It lasted everyone. It's a real show, except for Shatterstar. That guy was a prick.
That guy was a prick. Oh.
You know what he can do? Not get killed by a helicopter. There's a wind advisory in effect. Who knew that? Everyone.
Oh, the Vanquisher's got to make an appearance, except we won't see him.
Oh, the Vanisher.
Vanisher. Yeah.
I thought you was talking about fucking Flux again. The Vanquisher.
No, not that guy.
No. Maybe let's get Brad Pitt.
Yeah.
There you go. There, he was in a Marvel movie.
He was there, but we didn't know it.
It's mad that that's actually he actually filmed that scene, and it's not just a superimposed thing of let's just put Brad Pitt's image in it. It's that's quite cool.
Cause sod it.
What else happened? What stuff happened in the world? I feel like things happened, Connor. We saw stuff. We sent stuff. You saw Glass Onion.
I saw another movie called Bones and All with Timothy Chalamet, Taylor Russell.
Timothy Chalamet.
Yeah, Shalalala Bing Bong.
Chalamet.
The gothic. It's like the dark romance horror movie that's about cannibalism.
Oh dear.
It makes Jeffrey Dahmer look like a saint. Put it that way.
Jeffrey Dahmer.
Mark Rylance is amazing though.
Good news for you Doctor Who fans in the world is that
what's happening?
Sarah Jane Adventures is on iPlayer.
Oh, I did. Yeah, I saw that. I read it yesterday.
Except.
Yeah. Oh, for which one's missing?
Have a guess.
Day of the Clown, Bradley Walsh.
Because
he's a clown on the game show.
No.
Invasion of the very first one.
No, that's on there.
One of the Doctor ones.
Nope, they're both on there. Of course they're going to fucking be on there. That's all.
No such thing as marketing.
No, try again, you silly prick.
Silly goose. One of the ones with the trickster. Is it an important one or is it just a random one?
It's a really good one.
Oh, okay, that really sums it down.
I mean, not that any
season?
Season 5.
Season 5.
There's only 3 to guess from, so...
I haven't even seen Series 5. I'm still on Series 4. I've not even finished it.
Oh dear.
I know. SJA Season 5. I just want to know the names of the episode and now I could just pick one. Do a three-way tie. Oh, what? Sky, Curse, Clyde Langer, or Man Who Never Was?
Have a guess.
My gut's telling me Sky, because everyone's got Virgin Media nowadays.
No, because that's the series opener. That's still on there.
Oh, okay.
Originally, Matt Smith was meant to deliver Sky to Sarah Jane Smith, but...
Oh, it didn't happen.
They didn't have time in the schedule.
Oh.
Do you want to know which one it is?
Is it Man Who Never Was? No, it's Clyde.
Curse of Clyde Langer. One of the best...
episodes, is it?
One of the best stories, because I think the basic premise is there's this totem, Clyde touches it, it's like an alien totem, and then as soon as he touches it, everyone hates him.
Oh.
So he goes from
relatable.
So he literally
Yeah.
goes from like, you know, hanging out with the Banro gang and everyone's being horrible and hating him, and he ends up like homeless because his mum that like kicks him out because like she don't want him there.
Bloody hell.
And it's so deep, and it like resonated with a lot of homeless like kids at the time and stuff like that, and
Jesus.
like going through those kind of hardships. And it's some of Daniel Anthony's best work. Like, and for it to come in that season, like, it's so good. It's so good. And it's 11 years old now, that episode, and it's not on there. And so a lot of people like had noticed it and kind of like messaged about it. And because Russell posted it on Insta, so I commented on his thing. Like, Curse of Clyde Lang was one of my favourites. Is there any particular reason why it's not on there, or are we able to get it?
And he replied?
He liked the comment.
Oh, gas. Liked by Russell T Davies.
So maybe it's a thing of like, it just didn't get uploaded. Because I thought, you know, there's the self-censorship stuff, a lot of the things we've talked about before.
Right.
That, you know, when, you know, if we just like old episodes of the IT Crowd, the one where Matt Berry's character is in a relationship with a transgender woman, and that's been pulled from the Channel 4 stuff, but it's still on the Netflix version. And obviously, still, if you're that bothered by it, you can still just buy it on DVD.
Yeah, right.
I'm not a fan of curating your own history, like I've said, because you can't always pretend that you've been the best. You have to show progression and admit
when you're wrong,
yeah,
and grow from your mistakes.
Like the genius idea that we always come back to, it, that Looney Tunes had, by having it played in its entirety, but it's just preceded by a little clip of Whoopi Goldberg, who is a great historian and collector, and like sort of, you know, she has you know, become knowledgeable on the history of the representation of black people in film and television, right from the early days up till now, like to show the progression. And that was I think it was the 90s on the DVDs or something, and she basically does this this piece to camera where like she's talking about how the stuff at the time, when it was made, it was not made in like a bad way, but it was obviously, you know, it's very stereotypical and does not fit today's society and standards and stuff like that, but it's still kept intact as it was, because it's to preserve what was, so they can learn from it and not do
continue
it in the future.
To do better. Yeah.
So if the thing is the problem of having a representation of like homeless kids or whatever, maybe that's the thing that
sensitive
BBC are like,
content.
no.
Yeah, sensitive content.
But also, I don't really see why, because it's important, because it does a lot to sort of like, you know, shine
push
a light
away
on
from
something.
it.
Because Russell was very good at, you know, shining lights on subjects that don't always get the spotlight, in that sense, in his era and in his work since, and will continue to do, because he's a man who is very angry with this government. So it's nice to see. But so I don't really see it being a major problem of like, it might just be a mistake. But hopefully Curse of Clyde Langer is on there. I've got the box set of all of them anyway. It's a shame that it's only on DVD, because I think 4 and 5 are on Blu-ray,
which I've got, and then 1 and 3 are only on DVD. Yeah.
But I've got the complete one on
DVD only,
which is a shame. I wouldn't be surprised if, with the money coming in from Disney Plus and the apparently subsequent spin-off shows that are being funded.
Yeah. The DWU.
Yeah. And with Russell's push for physical media, I wouldn't be surprised if it's released, you know, will all get out and be, especially abroad, because even if it's on Disney Plus, I think he'll push a lot for
international markets.
This needs to be physical as well, because when you look at Australia, don't get the collection box sets at all. So poor them.
Big up the collection set.
That was. Yeah, are you excited? Yeah, you're excited for season 2, aren't you?
But also, like I said earlier about season 14, it was the first set that I've actually randomly opened and watched midway, because normally with the collection sets I just open it, do first disc and do it in order, watch the whole season in one go. But this is the first time I've literally just gone, I don't want Sarah Jane, and because I will do Sarah Jane on Blu-ray once season 13's out down the line, because I mean we've got to get Tom out of the way. Bless his poor old soul. We've got to get him out of the way. So we got all of his sets preserved in HD. But once we have 12, 13, 14, I'll then do like a proper binge. But it was a thing about Leela, and I was kind of like, I actually don't know how she joined or why she was there. She was just there as a cave woman warrior. There's 17, and I was like, I need to find out.
To join the Gallifreyan Academy with
K9 and K9 Mark
K9.
2.
K9 Mark 2, because K9 Mark 3 is with Sarah Jane.
The K9 and Company didn't really last long.
And K9 Mark 4 is
end of school reunion.
And the K9 Mark 5 is the regeneration K9 from the K9 show.
Right, which almost never happened. Yeah,
Which
the
they
weird
didn't
one.
have the rights, because that's why K9's not in Sarah Jane Adventures a lot until Series 3, because they didn't have the rights to him.
Okay, yeah.
So which is why at the end of Stolen Earth Journey's End, then he comes out. Obviously, like, he's in Doctor Who, so that's fine. And then he, I think, stays from... Because then the next season is Season 3, so from then he stays in Sarah Jane.
Fair enough.
Because that was the rights dispute between the Australian show and...
Doctor Who, BBC.
Yeah. But they never mentioned Doctor Who or his other stuff anyway, so it's weird. I watched a couple of episodes and it's not great.
No, I definitely looked at it and thought, nope, not my hashtag, not my K9.
Not today, Satan.
Not today, no. I weren't impressed by K9. Aussie version, non-Doctor Who version, don't exist. K9 versus K9, Big Finish, don't do it. Leave it alone.
Oh, you know that's coming. You know that is
Leave it alone.
so coming. We'd be remiss not to talk about the fact that the sporting event is still going on in England at this moment in time.
Oh, yeah,
as we record it, it's still in it. But
yeah.
this comes out 2 days before the final.
Oh.
So are England still in it? Do you? I'm gonna go with no.
Yeah, fuck no. No.
I hope they are. Hopefully, it's about to come home.
Who are we?
Even though the women already did
Who
it.
are we playing against? If it's us in the final, who are we playing against?
Probably Brazil.
Yeah, okay. And in that case, we ain't winning.
Because they worked out based off of the FIFA rankings, which are pointless. Because Belgium have been second for years, and their team is aging rapidly, and they've not ever won anything or actually done anything great. They've just got some of the best players.
Right.
But so they worked out, like, if metaphorically all the top seeded teams won their games that they would be expected to win, who would we face on the journey to the final? And it would be France in the quarters. It would be Belgium in the semi-finals, and then Brazil in the final. Now that could still not happen, because if Argentina draw today, but this has happened, this is in the past, so you're gonna fucking love us.
Still gonna find out.
If Argentina-Poland draw tonight, 3 weeks ago, then it's Argentina-France in the knockouts, and then we play one of them in the quarterfinals. If we did beat Senegal, but I don't know what happened with that, because it's time travel.
People, fun time travel. Who doesn't love time travel?
Yeah, there's the sport bit for you people, because we've mentioned it.
Oh,
I don't know about you, but after that Doctor Who chat, like, I've really exhausted my brain, because you left.
I'm still detoxing.
You left Villa Diodati.
Villa Diodati, yeah, and we said what we wanted to say about Cybermen, but in my opinion, I missed literally the good finale, and then I'm glad I sort of missed Flux. I'm glad I missed Flux, because that was the downhill for me.
You're going to talk about that,
of course, I know. I'm glad to bring it up, but it's just
So when we
I left when the going was
we
good.
already have.
Yeah,
get that, and we talked about the special. It was good. It was well received. Every episode got 1 million views.
Really?
No. We can just pretend. One thing that we did see that really put us in the festive spirit 3 weeks ago was the Guardians of the Galaxy holiday special.
Yeah. It was special.
What did you think of it? I really fucking liked it. Out of the 2 special presentations, I think this is my favourite.
Oh, no, I still prefer Werewolf by Night.
I like the stuff that Werewolf by Night's going for, but in terms of just this was
switching off and
of
watching
pure
it
joy.
Of pure banter and just... Oh, no, to be fair, Drax and Mantis did carry it. Like, Rocket had the Thor Love and Thunder treatment. He was in one scene at the end, or when the big
whenever
unveiling...
they could get Bradley Walsh in.
Yeah, the big...
Bradley Walsh.
Bradley Walsh. Yeah, go on, Star-Lord.
You're doing it, mate.
You're doing it, mate. Yeah, Groot. Bradley Walsh's Rocket needs to happen in another timeline.
I meant Bradley.
You're doing it, mate.
Fucking fabulous. Yeah, but that, so we see an animated.
That was cool.
Bit of Young Quill.
Doctor Who / better to entertain animation budget down the line, but one day.
The funding from Disney Plus might bring about
more money.
The return of that
potentially.
So there's an old. It was filmed normally with the child actor and Michael Rooker, and they rotoscoped over it.
Oh, brilliant!
Old school animation.
Cool. Like that.
of a scene of young Peter trying to explain Christmas to Kraglin and Yondu. And and it goes into this, present day. Chris Pratt's not in it a lot, which is great.
Hilarious. Good
and
thing.
I think the stuff that when he is used in it, he's quite charismatic and quite good.
Yeah.
And I don't think you're a twat.
He's
definitely...
He's got the filter.
He's confirmed since the Guardians 3 is definitely the end of this Guardians era, which
this
we knew.
run.
I wouldn't be surprised if he was one of the ones to go.
To
because what you
go
got
on
to think...
the afterlife.
Because it's like some have got to die for any weight or meaning to happen to this team. Because obviously they're not going to kill off the whole team because it makes money. So they'll bring it back later on down the line.
Yes,
but
in a reboot.
This is an opportunity to get rid of some of your higher paid actors. Now, he's not higher paid, but Dave Bautista wants out.
Yeah,
so I think that's one of them. And I think when you look at, Chris Pratt was it was with Chris Pratt and Nick Fury, and then it was the Avengers in Endgame.
Okay.
So he was technically the 7th highest build on Endgame.
Star. Bloody hell. Jesus.
When you look at it that way. And that's like he's, the lead of a franchise, finishing a trilogy in 2 of the highest grossing films of all time. One of the most in-demand blockbuster actors at the minute.
Yeah, going. Jesus.
So you could, it's not impossible to imagine that he's on, not Robert Downey Jr. money, but he's probably on nearly Chris Hemsworth money. But, that's one of the higher ends now that you don't have an Evans or a Downey Jr.
True.
He's probably one of the top 3 of the MCU in terms
at the minute. Yeah. Bloody hell.
So
I didn't even think of that.
That's probably and plus, I know cancelling or whatever, but his ties to that church, I think it's in Disney's best interest to
move away.
Just you've done 3 films, we've got a nice arc for you. Maybe we can move on to another character now and stuff. And also, if he died, it would be genuinely surprising and sad because it's this is our eyes into this world because he was the human
for a lot
face.
of MCU fans, but also for the non-believers, the non-cynicals that hadn't heard of Guardians of the Galaxy, and then because of the first movie and arguably
all their
his performances, so it would be effective and sad, but also very budgetary and cost-friendly for them down the line.
which we shall get to when we talk about the return of Bob. I really enjoyed the holiday special. So
I thought Kevin Bacon was great.
Kevin Bacon was fabulous.
He was fucking funny.
So because Peter's sad, presumably still about Gamora / that it's Christmas.
Yeah. He's got no one left in his life.
Mantis gets the forefront and actually gets stuff to do, having not had any lines in Love and Thunder.
Oh, nothing.
And minimal in Endgame.
Mm-hmm.
But she's obviously actually revealed to be Peter's half sister, which was revealed in
sort of in the week before it was called
in the
Legends, but then they took it down, didn't they? Yeah, they took it down.
They took both of them down. Because when the Legends basically do the highlights reel recap of the characters and what you kind of need to know going into the new release, which I've always liked, and I catch up on sometimes just when it's basically like an 8-minute thing of here's all the clips to get you pumped if you want to watch something. But we'd seen in the hall of weird marble vignettes that Ego had of a member of the same species as Mantis with Ego.
With Ego. Oh yeah,
so
of course.
It's now revealed that she was also one of those, but that's obviously why he kept her around. Because she had the telepathic, the empathic powers, and didn't have the god-like powers. So that's why he didn't use her as a battery or drain her or have a fucking skull in the basement or whatever it was. So that's a nice the family thread of it. I like how the reaction to the spaceship because they're we're going to go to Earth and get him a good present, and they get him Kevin Bacon because all the stories they've said about him
since the first movie. Yeah,
but I like that they know the Guardians know who actors are. He is the worst. He's an actor, and just the way Drax is we hate you.
we hate
you, but not you. Cooler.
Oh no! Yeah. It's just that team of Drax and Mantis. They carried it.
I think Dave Bautista is great, and it's nice to see. It's kind of like the Superman effect. Their power set actually on Earth.
Mm.
Because he gets shot at by the police.
Yes.
But he's bulletproof.
Yeah.
And then he proper just flips the car with little effort.
You don't go killing people, Jax.
And it because you've obviously only really seen him fight in space and fight aliens or weird squid monsters or whatever.
Yeah, CGI things.
You've only seen him fight stuff on a higher level power set, so they've always seemed like just normal fighting people. Whereas you forget, oh no, they are
pretty
strong,
powerful,
enhanced
and
alien
colossal.
people.
Yeah, and pretty colossal. Yeah.
Them going to the bar's great.
Yeah.
Give us all your money. Give us the man for free. And they kidnap Kevin Bacon to cheer up Peter. And I love how Batman's been name dropped and so is Superman in this universe now. Because he was Clark Kent in Eternals. And it's like, you gotta be a hero. I'm Batman. I mean, I'm Bruce Wayne. And then he just Drax going, who's Bruce Wayne?
Who is Bruce Wayne?
But DC haven't mentioned any Marvel characters.
Shots fired. Marvel are shooting the fires, but DC aren't putting them out.
It might be a lot easier for those to cross over, but we'll get to that. We'll get to that.
One day, we'll get there.
What do you think of it?
A lot of fun, a lot of switch your brain off, just comedy gold. Pom Klementif and Dave Bautista literally just... It felt like I wasn't watching the characters. It felt like I was watching them goof around for 45 minutes with makeup on and costumes and whatever else, effects over them. But they were just having the whale of a time. Particularly Mantis, who, since Guardians 2, barely had any lines in Endgame, had nothing to say in Love and Thunder. Got her money's worth, arguably, out of this one. It's her feature, arguably. Along with Drax. I feel like he's been consistent throughout all of his appearances. Maybe not in Endgame.
Yeah.
But he's been consistent in everything he's been in, I think.
But it's nice for him to get that breathing room. And I love that the GoBots canon. It's like his family were killed. One of his family members was killed by a GoBot. He's quite sore about it, like trying to beat him up in Hollywood Boulevard. I like the human reactions to it because last time they scream when they see it and start crying when they see the spaceship. Because obviously last time they saw a spaceship, fucking half the planet was
half the population. Yeah.
Because what does seeing aliens in the MCU mean? And it's like, wow, that's quite good. I like that. I like it a lot. And Kevin Bacon is just fun, and I like that Peter's reaction is like,
You kidnapped Kevin Bacon?
Yeah. It's basically just like you kidnapped a human, not like, oh, this is just a great, this is not like a great present. This is wrong. It shows that Peter's come a long way as well, because obviously he was just ragged, outlaw, and now he's sort of got a moral compass and more of a he's a leader, and they've bought nowhere, so that's their weird town.
Yeah, the skeleton head, which is their hub world.
We get Swole Groot.
Yeah, fucking swole, muscular, adult Groot, I guess, but still young face Groot. CGI muscular body, but still young face.
I think James Gunn's tweeted some stuff. I don't know whether that's adult Groot or whether that's an in between.
I think
to the third. I think
that's 18 to 19, like you say, shredded workout Groot. Yeah. And then he'll go back to Dadbot Guardians 1 Groot in the end of Guardians 3.
Still a strong Groot. Bucky's arm is given to Rocket.
Brilliant.
So and James Gunn tweeted that she flew to Earth and ripped it off of him while he was sleeping or something, because she was just feeling so Christmassy. Is I think his tweet, and it's that's a fun thing because
we has to get addressed in Thunderbolts. Where's his arm? It'd be funny if in the reveal trailer for Thunderbolts, because I think that is his next appearance. Does he have the arm? Does he have a different arm? Does he not have an arm?
Can you join the team? Yeah, but can you get me an arm?
Yeah, can you get me an arm, please? Captain Hook. Captain Hook on the Thunderbolts team.
Should we talk about Bob Iger before we do Wakanda Forever?
Sure.
So Bob Iger is
Bobby
back
Iger.
As the CEO of the Walt Disney Company. Because God. Bob Chapek, not so great. So apparently he's been lying about the figures. A lot of I think he lied about they were, however, 2 or 3. No, about 6 billion, in a positive, as opposed to where they actually were and things like that. And it's he was using the parks to fund Disney Plus.
So
he was originally the runner of the parks, wasn't he? The theme park side of it, but he's been using, because going to Disneyland, instead of just buying the ticket and having the money through that, you're getting the money for entry to the park, for the rides, for the fast passes, for the fast passes. Because I don't know if you know about like that whole system. So they introduced the fast pass like you do in most places.
Mm-hmm.
But because so many people buy the fast passes, meaning that there essentially isn't a fast pass
fast.
because
It's
everyone's
redundant.
doing the fast.
Yeah, it's redundant.
There is another system above that.
Great.
Like essentially like a fast pass. That's like
Premium fast. Yeah.
basically
Flash fast.
So because you're paying for all that stuff, and because how many would you say, like hundreds of thousands, possibly visit that
100,000
every day at least? You're talking like tens of millions a year.
Oh, absolutely.
And
Millions.
so a lot of that money, because he was very orientated on the streaming on Disney Plus, because that was his focus of getting that to be the biggest streaming service on the planet. So, and he's also the reason why there was no Star Wars movies. So apparently it was a Chapek thing.
A Chapek.
There, there's no movies at the minute, like because he was like, don't work on, like, you're not working on movies, make the TV work.
Yeah, then do your movies. I mean, I don't know. Do I hate that
But
idea?
But to have something like on the horizon, because we've had nothing for 3 years.
We haven't, no.
And there's no sign of anything for like the next couple at least.
No, we haven't had anything.
So, and that's one of the reasons. And also because Kathleen Kennedy's contract, I think, is up in the next like couple of years.
Right.
So like this would have seen her out. But I think with him coming back in, and because Kathleen Kennedy was such a big fan and close ally of Iger, she might get a contract extension, or they might just let
work
it run
something
its course.
out. Yeah. And actually get around.
Would be like, oh, because she's shit, like let her go. But she is a good producer, because Bob Iger said, like obviously he wasn't expecting to, because he'd done everything he'd done. He only signed an extension for the Fox deal, did that, got that over the line, and then handed it off. But then he come back because, naturally, like in terms of the Walt Disney Company and their practices in terms of how they operate and like some of their product, I don't far from agree with everything they do or paint them as the good guys, but in terms of the way that Bob Iger run the Walt Disney Company, he's probably one of the best CEOs of a large media conglomerate.
Yeah, financial conglomerate.
Or if not
the biggest.
Or if not companies in general, because the way he conducted himself and the business, like he extended like the Pixar deal, and then in the end was just like, we'll just buy them. Done the same for Marvel, done the same for Star Wars. It got them to a point where they were making billions upon billions, and could afford to spend 40
millions and trillions
on getting Fox. So it makes sense, because the stocks went straight back up as soon as he was put back in charge. He basically said he wanted to put the...
When was he actually put back?
Last week?
It was only, as I say, it was
last week for us.
He was just like, yes, I'm back. I'm here, whether you like it or not.
So yeah, it was like last week for us, but obviously like 3 weeks ago in terms of this. But and he basically said he wanted to put the decisions back in the hands of the creatives, which seemed like a bit of a like vanilla answer, but in terms of he would just let people run their side of it, so he would let Kathleen Kennedy just run Star Wars. Like it wasn't a thing of like, I have to be on top of everything. It was like, what you can do and can't do and what you like and whatever. So you go and do whatever you want with Star Wars. Kevin, you go do whatever you want with the MCU, and Pete Docter, you go and do whatever you guys are doing at Pixar. Kind of thing.
Fair
Which
enough.
I think, because a lot of people have either been promoted up to a point where they can't make decisions, or where they're over too many things and they can't be in control of it. Like Kevin Feige being more of a creative director
of Marvel,
of Marvel and the entire Disney company at large. It's like it's a thing. But also there is inside information.
Insider scoop.
I don't know where this is from, but apparently it's to get the company back up to making enough money again, to a point where Apple can buy Disney.
Good God.
Yeah.
Disney, Apple TV.
Because then that's it. Like, because Apple is a much larger company than Disney. By quite a way.
Unfortunately.
Because obviously tech conglomerate and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But
phones. Yeah.
And he would be the last CEO of Disney. So like that's kind of almost like his legacy, like his stamp on history. Like he did this, made it, and then they were bought by the biggest company on earth.
Yeah. Bloody hell.
But
bloody hell.
There is chatter, I don't know how true this is, that there is a rumour that they might buy it, they could or have had
Discussions.
various discussions about, this is for Disney, about buying out Warner Brothers.
Marvel versus Disney universe. Very
How true any of this is,
interesting. Well,
we won't know over the next... find out over the next couple of years.
You guys maybe would have known instead of us recording it this second. I don't know. Probably nothing would have happened in those 3 weeks, but this time next year, I don't know. Not to be bold, this time next year, who knows what streaming services era we're going to live in, what trailers we would have had, what ideas would have come out of everyone's asses. Who knows? The world's forever changing.
It is forever
Companies
changing.
and money is forever.
Something
growing.
else is forever. And it's Wakanda.
Memories. Wakanda. Yeah.
The
30th MCU film.
Is it the
It's the
30th?
30th. Yep, 30th.
And it's bloody good.
Bloody great, yeah.
Directed by Ryan Coogler, starring Letitia Wright, Riri Williams, and... No.
The Peter Nong...
Is it? No, Riri's the character. Is Riri the
Yeah,
character?
yeah. Dominique Thorne.
Dominic Thorne, sorry. Is
Yeah.
Riri Williams. Lupita Nyong'o, Denai Guerrera, possibly.
Yeah,
is in there?
Winston Duke.
It was his birthday the other day.
I know. What a happy man.
What an
What a
amazing
happy,
man with
amazing
amazing thighs.
His thighs.
And what's his name? Namor.
Tenoch Huerta.
Tenoch Huerta. If we've
Tenoch.
butchered the name, we
Tenoch.
are sorry. We're learning because you were fucking amazing as well. What was the plot of Wakanda Forever? So we're gonna go because by this point it's been
Everyone
out for
should have
over
seen
a
the
month,
film. I mean, it's
so
made enough money.
It's good. It might hopefully break $1 billion by the time this comes out. So the plot of Wakanda Forever is
Wakanda versus Atlantis, which was rumoured and speculated all those months ago. Earlier this year, we resaid it, and we always sort of wanted it, or at least I wanted it to go in that direction. And in a very crazy nutshell, despite the very real and tragic circumstances, that is the movie we got.
that was the tweet.
Oh, hello, Miss Minutes.
Yes.
Oh. No, regarding of the real sad circumstances, which we've all touched upon day in, day out, week in, week out, surrounding the film, Wakanda versus Atlantis. That's the pitch in a nutshell.
Yeah.
In a very broad nutshell.
Mm-hmm.
Which
The
is
broadest of nuts.
Yeah. Shells. Sea crabs.
So King T'Challa has passed from a illness that is not named.
No.
I'm sure he believes that the heart-shaped herb could have cured him, but because obviously Killmonger burnt them all down at the end of the last. That kind
During
of
Black Panther,
that kind of confused me because he had the heart-shaped herb in him.
It's like he saved the last bit of himself for his armour, but
Yeah.
he did burn the crops down. He did burn it all to a very
because,
minimum.
Ramonda gives him like when they find him in the ice, and then gives him one, and then buries him, and then he's back, and then it's the finale for Black Panther.
And maybe the Battle of Wakanda, Battle of Infinity War, maybe
Snapped away. Maybe he didn't come.
True,
back,
yeah.
Maybe he come back without it.
totally
But
devastated the landscape. Yeah, potentially.
That was
Something like
just a thing of like, oh, that's a bit of a hole, but we'll get past it. I like how Chadwick Boseman is not present,
On
is not
screen.
a presence throughout the whole thing.
Yeah.
I love that he's never on screen. I like that it's his moment at the beginning,
Yeah, totally.
and he is a through line and an emotional arc for Shuri, which, like the reports were saying before, like I totally agree with the fact that her and Peter have the best character arcs in a single film.
Yeah,
In terms of No Way Home and
100%.
Wakanda Forever.
yeah.
He's his passing is a through line and a driving force
For all of the
Shuri.
characters.
Well, yeah, for all of them.
But Shuri in particular, yeah, sure, yeah.
And that he has it's a nice moment at the end as well.
Very nice.
But the fact that in between
Especially
that, it's not a thing of constantly going. Oh,
Not jumping ahead, but
he's dead.
especially the post credit. It
Yes.
very capped it perfectly, and I was like, "Oh, that was brilliant." It literally thinking it gave me the butterflies. I was like, "That's a good." It was just like, "That's the movie." That was the one. But no, like you say, not throughout the movie. You very much felt him at the beginning. It was an emotional through line throughout all of it, but it wasn't. Oh yeah, what would you do if T'Challa's here? Oh, he's dead. What would you do if he was here? Oh, he's dead. But without being jokey or corny about it.
Angela Bassett was the MVP.
Definitely deserving of an Oscar, BAFTA, the awards that she hasn't won. I think serious contention. Definitely. Angela Bassett. Amazing.
Winston Duke was great. Lupita Nyong'o was fabulous, and she wasn't in it as much as I thought she would be.
Yeah.
She was kind of in it, probably the same as Black Panther, maybe slightly more.
Yeah, maybe.
Maybe slightly more runtime on that.
Ironheart, Dominique Thorne, Riri Williams. I thought she was in it a bit more than I thought she was going to be.
I think about the same, because I thought she was going to end up sort of being like the Shuri to Shuri.
To Shuri.
But obviously, it's, we're setting you up for the show, but obviously we're going to take the suit off you.
Yeah, so that's
that
why
we can redesign it in the show.
And also for those that didn't manage to catch Wakanda Forever, this is her character, and this is our origin, in a weird nutshell. Because
Dominic Thorne was great as well.
Yeah, she was very good.
I think the entire supporting cast and the world of Wakanda were as amazing as they'd ever been. I like that we open on the passing and then the funeral, where they take his body, they take his casket through the streets, and everyone's dancing and celebrating the life of T'Challa. And then it opens with the Marvel Studios logo, the same as the one they then retroactively put on the Disney Plus edition, but it's in complete silence.
Yeah,
and it's basically it's
and
nice.
Purple.
Yeah, it's nice that you start with a minute's silence and kind of end with one as well. It's nice bookends to the film. The convenience thing. It
came out on Remembrance Day for us as well. It was Remembrance Day. We had 11 o'clock times that day, and in that night, the whole cinema, everything was just silent. It was like, oh my god, we've had 2 silences today.
Yeah, it was a very touching tribute. And I think Ryan Coogler, like I've said to you, I think under the circumstances, I think he delivered the best version of this film that he could have.
Absolutely, yeah. It hit me deep. I was just like, wow.
I think anyone, I look at any of the characters, and I think any of them could have been Black Panther, like M'Baku. What is Thingy's name?
Who's Thingy?
Lupita Nyong'o.
Nakia, isn't it?
Nakia, yeah.
Nakia, yeah.
And Nakia. You've obviously got Okoye gets her weird sort of predator
blue thing. What is that? Yeah, I forgot what it was called, but it is an actual thing from the comics. Very accurate to the comics. Well, I did see it, and her reaction was, "Oh, very ugly," and I was like, "It ain't pretty," but it's accurate, so I can't fault it.
I think the
Ayo was in it from Falcon Winter Soldier, Black Panther 1.
Yeah.
Ayo.
But she's been in it since Civil War as well. She was one of the guards with him in Civil War.
True, yeah.
Like, move or you'll be moved. As entertaining as that would be. It's just such a shame, watching it, because you're like, I really wanted more of Chadwick Boseman, Black Panther. But obviously, given what we get, and in a very similar vein to No Way Home, with what Shuri goes through and what she ends up with as in terms of family, not much.
No.
Should we talk about the villain?
Namor, the Atlantean, who has kind of had a weird villain. I've always known him. I've just known him from a random game, Marvel Ultimate Alliance, proper throwback, nostalgic game. But he is the hero of Atlantis in the comics, and in most adaptations it's been Atlantis. Yeah. To see him as a villain, although he has been a villain from what I've read in the comics, and he's had different worldviews, he is kind of grey. Whereas in my mind as a kid, he was always one of the original heroes. But to see him in that big of a role, like I said to you maybe a few weeks ago, it's so weird that he is kind of like him, along with the original Human Torch, non-Johnny Storm, are like 2 of the oldest Marvel characters, and yet it's taken them this long to have a big theatrical live action presence.
Apparently they've been tied up
with Universal.
Yeah.
Namor and the Hulk are with Universal, which I wasn't aware of, but
no, I was also not aware of that. And I think he does really good with it. I think
he's fleshed out.
He's a morally grey area villain, but he's got sort of villainous tones in the way that it's like he wants to declare war with the surface world because of the past, what happened to him. He is flat out just says he's a mutant.
Yeah, which was nice.
Because his tribe, when they were on land, took this to avoid the war, took this similar herb thing, so then they could live underwater. So that then, when they're underwater, their skin is normal, but as when they come above land, they go blue. Right. But Namor was born he was
half.
Yeah, he was born human. Not long after, because his mother took it. Obviously was human, and then was then had the herb within her, so he was born of
affected
both worlds.
By the pregnancy.
So he can breathe normally underwater and his super strength and all that, but can use it on land. Born with his wings on his feet.
Ankles. Yeah. one of the corniest aspects where they make it look so
make it
badass in
work
these
as well,
action
yeah.
scenes. Yeah, they
They
look
make it
great.
scary because like the way you hear that before you see him.
The helicopter, yeah.
Yeah.
You see it spin around, and I'm like, "Is that him? Is that him?" And you get the weird Henry Cavill Superman long distance shot, but you don't see like a cape. You just see the outline. You're like, "Oh fuck!"
And they're of a very similar
Brilliant
society to the Wakandans, but obviously Mayan in architecture and in influence, and underwater and dark and dingy. But he is a person that's gone out of his way to create sunlight for the people of his for his community, for his kingdom, and it's
nation. Yeah,
he is very much just Black Panther underwater, and causes a lot of problems for Wakanda because they know about other vibranium in the earth, and they're trying to stop it because someone has created this machine to scan it, and that turns out to be Ironheart.
Yeah.
So like they want to kill her because of
the
this,
American.
what this machine's done, and like Wakanda, like they want Wakanda to help, but then they're on the side of protecting her, and that sparks their initial conflict.
Yeah.
Which I think is resolved in a nice way in terms of the fact that Shuri becomes a new Black Panther, which is obviously
in the suit, which we all did kind of speculate from the trailer,
because
just
from that figure that was not Winston Duke.
No, unfortunately, that was not Winston Duke.
But any of them could have been it, and I think that it's maybe set in a thing of like the way it ends, specifically with Winston Duke, with M'Baku, like he wants to challenge for the throne, like that he's gonna rule and
Wakanda.
She's gonna fight
In the suit.
But also that he'll probably get a version of the suit, or he'll be able to be White Ape, or like a variant of that that's not, that's a bit more PC and a bit, kinda.
Yeah, right, of course.
Yeah. But no, I think Angela Bassett was great because obviously she becomes queen in the death of her son, and it's not passed down to Shuri. And Shuri's never called queen, even after, spoilers, the passing of Ramonda, when her mother gets killed by
devastating
Namor, which drives her on, drives her to finish recreating the heart-shaped herb, who she sees in her vision is very interesting. Which is
even with the first film. Well, I mean, a person that deep down I kind of hoped was going to be in the second film, regardless of what shape or form, but none other than Michael B. Jordan, Eric Killmonger himself.
Eric Killmonger Stevens.
Yeah. In the flesh, Michael B. Jordan, Black Panther 2, very nice, very good reaction, because you just see him in the chair with that angle. They're clearly hiding the face, and then I saw the ponytail braid. I'm like, who's that? Who's that? And then it took a second. And I was like, oh shit, he's growing his hair out. Got me very deceived.
Yeah,
just weren't my initial reaction, but it was great seeing him on the throne. In the throne room, as Shuri is speaking and she's sort of raising her temper, the flames, it all goes on fire, because that's where she's at spiritually and mentally. And again, rewatching the first movie and seeing how she is in the second one, that they are kind of linked. They are very similar paths, and it's even when, like, jumping ahead of it, when they have Namor and Letitia have their final confrontation, and you have that moment like Peter in No Way Home. He's like, I'm gonna kill you, and then you see visions, and it did all come full circle. And again, she's had like the greatest arc since Peter Parker, No Way Home. They're all on the same tier, and she just grew and turned full circle as a character, and that will only continue forward into Secret Wars, Black Panther 3, the Black Panther Disney Plus series, or whatever they're going to do next, in what order. But no, it was just an entertaining, thoroughly great movie that no scene felt like a waste. There was no sort of pointless humour gags. Winston Duke, for me, was the humour, and the way he delivered his lines got reaction from the audiences that when I watched the film. Because, again, this is one of the films I've only seen, 3 or 4 times since it's been out. And, I mean, there's not been many films this year that has got me to go out of my way to watch it. Everyone I've seen it with has loved it. Even non-Marvel fans, non-Black Panther fans as such, non-cinema goers, have all walked into it and gone, damn, I'm glad I've spent my money on it, because it's one of those rare gems that whatever condition you see it in, just absolutely watch it and just soak it in. If you've watched the first one, that's only a bonus and a companion piece. But they're both as good as each other. I don't think one is better than the other as such. it'll be hard to sort of rank them individually. But I do think, like we said, Ryan Coogler has made the best movie possible, despite the awful circumstances that hopefully no other production would go through anytime soon.
No, definitely not. Do you think we'll get... I think it sets up for the potential of a third one.
Absolutely.
In more ways than one. Would you like continue with like Shuri and down this path and like get to her story before, like if you could fit one in before Secret Wars, or would it very much be set after?
I think it'd be afterwards. Let whatever cosmic battle world multiverse shenanigans happen, then you tell a story of a nation and another nation. Because the way, not to spoil the movie completely, but like the Atlantean's final scene, Namor's final scene, to me, when he's having a conversation with Namorita, I think it is, like her cousin in the comics, or lover in some takes, it left it a bit ambiguous to me. As to seem like, oh, we're allied with the Wakandans in the surface world, but then, when the time's right, we may take it back from them, or it's sort of like, I got the sense of, oh, we'll use them until it's right to take the land again. So for me, it kind of seemed a bit, they're going to use them, they're going to be good, and then when the opportune moment is there, they're going to take it back from them, perhaps, and they're going to have a semi-conflict. So I like how it's still, for me anyway, the Atlanteans come across a bit ambiguous in the last minutes, but they both Namor and Shuri both came out of the conflict learning from the situation, and, not to use anger, because anger only leads you to nowhere and suffering, to quote Master Yoda, who's sadly not part of the MCU. But no. Well, exactly, down the fucking line, everything's going to be part of the Marvel Universe. I mean, freaking Kevin Bacon is. Footloose is, technically. Footloose is... it was just a brilliant movie that even now I kind of want to go and watch. I kind of want to watch it again, despite how bleak, really, of a movie it is. I think the only thing I didn't all disliked, but then I kind of felt was a bit forced because it's the MCU and they're kind of trying to link everything, was the surprise of Madame Hydra, Countess Valentina de Fontaine.
That stuff felt a bit tacked on with her.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
That felt like their stuff could have been a post-credit scene. Like
or just in another movie. Or just in another movie.
Them turning up at the scene of the thing and finding the beads or whatever, or... her arresting him, so they were married,
which was a shock. I was like, okay, cool, different.
Which is like, sure, I dig it, but yeah, like I love Martin Freeman, and it's he is essentially there to move the plot on,
and to link things to the wider picture,
but it's just. It did feel like this is the stuff you cut out in this 2-hour 45-minute movie. It still felt great, like it was a good old pace and felt a bit more like, it had room to breathe. It was just like these 3-4 scenes you could just
check out, and copy and insert in another film.
Put it in a post credit or put it somewhere else. Like you don't, but it's obviously to let you know that this is going to be us moving us towards Thunderbolts. This is, tying up threads.
They are going to add up,
Falcon and the Winter Soldier kind of stuff.
The sort of the ground level threat might blink in sooner rather than later.
Yeah.
And even with the likes of, if you want to go on the tangent, like even the likes of like the street level heroes of Daredevil, Echo, Spider-Man, the New Yorkians, we'll just call them the New Yorkians. Maybe they will perhaps link in with the Thunderbolts and this Madame Hydra stuff and like the Dark Avengers, whatever route they're going to go down with it. Perhaps literally the Earthbound heroes, all of them, even the majority of them are on Earth at the minute, they will be against whatever she's planning. And you've got your cosmic ones that are in space that will be fighting your Kang across the universes and your people in the Werewolf by Night in the TVA universe. You've got Deadpool and the Fox characters over there. You've got all these various Guardians in their little bubble over there that will somehow link to all of it. Perhaps Thor in his cosmic Viking journey.
The Eternals are somewhere.
Yeah, exactly.
Going to carry on with that.
The off-world people will be doing off-world things, but then it will somehow link to Kang, whereas you've got the Earthbound people on Earth doing this Dark Avengers Madame Hydra stuff. And maybe she's a variant of Kang down the line. I don't fucking know what route they're going to go to.
Something.
She's linked to Kang.
She'll be turning into more of a Madame Hydra than maybe we were expecting. Overall, what would you kind of give this movie? Because I thought this was solid. it's. I think the last act is better than the first one, because obviously Black Panther was rushed a lot towards the end, and its conclusion is not great, and the CGI and the rhinos are very terrible in some instances. But I do love that film, but I really sort of had a good time with it, because this isn't one where you're walking into it thinking, I'm just in it for the action kind of thing. This is a meaningful story. There is a lot to unpack here.
And a lot to digest, yeah.
And there's some fantastic character performances. There's a lot about loss and coping with it. And it felt like Ryan Coogler's sort of letter to Chadwick Boseman in terms of like writing Shuri with the anger of like, why did he not tell me what was wrong with him until it was too late for me to help him? And I like that it's never explained like what it is. It's just a thing. And it's basically, it mirrors the passing of Chadwick in terms of like, it's a disease that took his life that he didn't really tell anyone about. And it's I think I'm surprised at how beautifully simple and effective the use of that was in it, and how important he was as the emotional driving force of the characters in the story, because obviously him being dead leads others to believe that Wakanda is its weakest.
Vulnerable, yeah.
Which, that fabulous scene in the UN when Angela Bassett's basically shouting the UN down, especially the French, and showing them that, they are not one to be messed with still. They will protect their motherland, which is fantastic. And there's some great performances by everyone, and Winston Dukes even said like he wouldn't be surprised
down the line
T'Challa gets recast, but that was before we'd seen
the post-credit
scene.
Yeah.
Do you wanna, knock us through that?
Well, so Letitia Wright has a little sit down on the beach, and the movie before the post-credit, it just ends with her staring into the beach. We get the final sort of vision of Chadwick and T'Challa, like sort of their compilation of moments in Black Panther and across the MCU, and you just sort of hear the Rihanna song "Lift Me Up," and she's sort of drifting off into the.
The soundtrack's really good in this one.
All of the songs are great. All of them are bangers. All of them are great.
Mm-hmm.
But you sort of see her drifting off into the drifting off, but she's sort of just looking into the ocean. You see a tear come out of her eye, and I'm like, oh, that's very beautiful. But then I kind of forgot. This is a Marvel movie. We have to stay. There's a lot of emotions. We did. All of us had to look at the end. All of us had to look at each other and go, okay, yeah, this is a Marvel. We kind of got to stay now.
I cried at the end with the tribute to Chadwick. Like that, I teared up at that because that was quite a sweet moment and very well done.
Yeah.
But
there was definitely like a way. It was like, okay, yeah, now breathe.
It felt like because she finally grieved, and it was finally allowing us to sort of
switch off and just do it. Yeah.
And it was a nice moment. But the post credits, the mid credit, the only scene,
the only one which is good. Because I don't know what else you really would have tacked on right at the end.
Maybe
really.
A Thunderbolts thing with Ross and
potentially to make that more valuable. Yeah.
Vanessa Defund.
Or Doctor Doom would have been really random and stupid.
Yeah, because that was the rumoured one, wasn't it?
Doctor Doom.
Because Lake Bell makes her on-screen debut in live action because she was the voice of Black Widow in What If.
Oh, in What If, yeah, that's right. Yeah, but
yeah, there was rumoured that those scientists were going to be like employed by Doom or whatever, and we were going to see
Doom Industries or whatever. Yeah. Victor Von Doom, Latverian Enterprise. I don't know what he calls it. Latveria. Perhaps that might be the conflict of the third Black Panther, whether it's after this multiverse stuff.
Well,
if Doctor Doom
does have ties to
to Latveria,
the Fantastic Four, because there's a Fantastic Four animated episode where the Fantastic Four have to capture and take down Black Panther because he thinks they've done something, or they think I don't remember. It's like the '60s one.
Oh, okay.
They basically have to capture him in this thing, and it's not great, but it's
nostalgic.
Also, he would have had ties to the X-Men because of his marriage to Storm, but maybe that's a different variant to come, or different generation.
Yeah, perhaps, maybe.
Because what was the mid-credit scene for now?
You keep saying, but Letitia Wright staring into the ocean, she's getting emotional. Then Nakia Lupita
Nyong'o.
Yeah, fuck. She strolls into frame with a young boy that was in one scene earlier in the film when she's introduced, but he's introduced. I can't remember how it's like announced in the film, but he says that's his nation name. He said my Wakanda name.
Oh yeah, so her son Toussaint.
Yeah, Toussaint. That's it, Toussaint.
Your name, Tucson is a very noble name. It's really cool. Yours is cool
yours,
too, I
yours is
guess.
cool too, I guess. Yeah, which
And
made us all laugh. Yeah,
it's the way like so because she says like this is your auntie because
yeah,
obviously it's T'Challa's son,
yeah.
and the way he just goes
Toussaint is my nation
Toussaint
name.
is my Haitian name.
Oh, yeah, right. Yeah.
And then she asks him in Georgia. She asks him, who are you?
And he goes, "My name is
My name is
Prince T'Challa,
son of King T'Challa."
And
And
I'm like, oh,
and I don't know if like it's just hit me more since having a kid, but like
right, of
stuff
course.
like a moment like that is just like it's so sweet and it's future proofing this
the
character,
legacy,
like because
yeah.
it's a legacy character, but also it's like we're not recasting T'Challa, we're letting
No,
we're kind of recast, but we're letting it be his son,
his own thing,
and it's going to be his own version of T'Challa, and maybe that's how you do it, and you age that. Either you wait for that kid to go through puberty, or you.
yeah, potentially.
Because and it's weird because he looks like a young Chadwick Boseman. In terms of like the way his hair is, his smile, just like his sort of whole stature, like he looks like he could have been T'Challa's son. And they talk about like the funeral, like that's why, because the key is obviously it's brought up a lot that she would never came to the funeral, and Ramonda knew that she'd met him a couple of times, and it gives more weight to, and it's a bit weird, but also gives more weight to the scene of when he leads her to, when she comes to visit the school in Haiti, like leads her to Nakia.
Yeah.
She knew him. She met him, and like I said, like when they talk about like, your dad, your Baba, like prepared you for this, so we had like. We thought it was too soon and like the pressure of the throne, so we had our own. We stayed here. We had our own little ceremony for him and stuff like that and things like that. And it's just at the point where, because obviously she's lost all her family in the space of civil war to now, like her dad, her brother, her mother, like
arguably same as Peter in this point. Yeah,
like had no one, and then she's given the hope of it's her nephew, and then that almost gives her a drive and that's going to give her a drive and a purpose going forward.
Going forward, yeah.
And that's really sweet, and I like that. It comes back to. I think it's in Black Panther when he visits the ancestral plane.
Yeah.
And he he's talking to his dad, and this is I think either the first time or it's before he like shouts at him for what they did to Killmonger, and. Was it Prince Njobu? That's his, before he shouts, like, sort of, like, what you did was wrong. Like, obviously, like, his family and stuff and things. But I would, it calls back to that where T'Chaka says to him, a father who fails to prepare his children for his death has failed as a father.
Aww.
And obviously that calls back to, and that relates to him having a plan for his death, for his son, and having that and planning all that, and even to a point where his sister didn't know about it, and because his mum even says like about like telling her something about your brother, and then that's presumed to be the talk of Toussaint, but never gets to it because then she dies at the hands of Namor.
Yeah, her situation, yeah. And it's a very effective delivery of a brilliant post-credit scene that, again, sort
sweet, and it's self-contained, and it's like, obviously, it kind of ends with a post-credit scene in terms of, like, M'Baku, like, gets off of her jet, and, like, because Shuri seems to have no interest in the throne.
In the ruling,
but it's like, she couldn't make it, but I am here to challenge
like
the throne like he wanted to do.
Thor and Valkyrie situation.
Yeah.
Similar, yeah.
Which I'm up for, because, it explains Winston Duke's contract renegotiation for a bigger part.
Yeah.
He may get a Black Panther suit or a
some
super
variety
suit of some kind.
Yeah. A hero suit.
I just love him. I love Winston Duke.
He's now next in David Leitch's film 2024 with Aaron Taylor-Johnson. I can't think of the name, but it's David Leitch. It's John Wick action movie with Lemon and M'Baku. David Leitch. I'm going to be there day one to watch that, but I can't think what on earth it's even called. I'm just pulling it up very quickly. The Fall Guy. Yeah, The Fall Guy, directed by David Leitch from a screenplay by Drew Pearson, starring... I can't remember who it is. Ryan Gosling and Emily Blunt. It's an adaptation of the 1980s TV series of the same name, created by Glenn A. Larson, which starred Lee Majors. Didn't know it. But Ryan Gosling, Emily Blunt, Aaron Taylor-Johnson, Stephanie Hishu, totally butchered that surname, Winston Duke, Hannah Waddingham from Ted Lasso, bloody hell.
Wow.
Teresa Palmer, March the 1st, 2024, so a battered and past his prime stuntman, who I'm assuming is Ryan Gosling as a stuntman. So a battered and past his prime, Ryan Gosling finds himself working on a movie set with the star for whom he doubled long ago and who replaced him. The star then goes missing. Very vague synopsis. 2 years away from it, but David Leitch is going to be an action comedy thing, but with good choreography, so I'm going to be there for that straight away.
Yeah.
Good old Winston Duke picking up some good scripts.
Winston.
Picking some good scripts.
But yeah, I would say it's a solid, I'd say 8.5, 9 out of 10. Like, I really sort of connected with it and its story and its message, and it really sort of hammered it home to me, and
aside from Martin Freeman and Lady Valentina, I think I will give it a 10, just because I really walked into it and I was like, just from beginning to end,
it's the best Marvel Phase 4 movie.
It is. And just this year, it really affected me on a deep level.
Yeah.
It just pleased me so much that it was handled perfectly.
Yeah, why is it above No Way Home? Because No Way Home is a celebration and it is a nostalgia fest, and it's
of the
their
past,
attempt to cash in and stuff like that. But it works for us because we are of that era and we love those films. But for this, actually doing something new and in a new direction, and what it does for the character, for the future of their place in the
saga,
MCU, and just for what Ryan Coogler could achieve, and actually a story to tell.
Who was so close to walking away, which obviously understandable under any circumstance, but obviously we're grateful that this is what we got.
Yeah, I'm so grateful that we got this, and I can't wait to pick up a physical media copy of it because it was fabulous.
Pre-order it already, yeah. Right, I want to pre-order it already,
but yeah,
if we can.
What were your thoughts of Wakanda Forever, the Black Panther? I loved it so much, and definitely after the stuff we've had this year, it's top notch.
Yeah, good stuff.
So is it have we just had Thor this year, or we had another one?
Thor and Doctor Strange.
Was Doctor Strange this year?
Multiverse of Madness, yes. The Multiverse
Jesus
was this
Christ.
year, this timeline. Yeah, we had Multiverse of Madness.
I would say in terms of movie, it would be this, Doctor Strange, and then Thor.
Agreed, yeah.
For this year.
Agreed. Yeah, Thor's at the bottom, unfortunately, but yeah.
Well, what a way to close out Phase 4. Phase 5, here we come, with
Ant-Man, Quantumania. I mean, Guardians, I guess, is Phase 4.5, whatever you want to call it, is just Kevin Bacon.
Oh, the holiday special,
wasn't really addressed.
I think it's Phase 4.
Right, yeah, okay.
Because it's introducing stuff that's going to be important later
on. Yeah. But no, Phase 5 begins with Quantumania, but then the first show will be Secret Invasion around March, April time, I think.
Yes, because there's more trailers for that.
Because Quantumania's in February.
Can't wait for that.
Oh, I really can't.
Big things expected, but I don't want it to go the way of Doctor Strange. If everything's going to happen in this one, and then everyone's like, nothing happened.
No, but there's going to be things that even with the technology,
it's set the stage for the final
call back
battle.
To what we've seen in Shang-Chi and the technology and the bangle, and those are what people predicted. But definitely, just you looking at the icons, looking at the technology, looking at the colours, you're like, yeah, no, they're definitely linked. They have to be. If they're not, I'd be genuinely shocked. Things will link in the background that will, like you say, set up the rest of the whole story.
Yeah.
How it affects Daredevil and Spider-Man in the streets doing street level things, we don't know.
Yeah.
I can't picture, but it definitely will set the stage for all of the pieces to come. So yeah, Ant-Man, the smallest, one of the smaller heroes, pun intended, to go up against probably the biggest in terms of size and importance and, colossal impact across all of the universes.
Across time and space.
Big up Ant-Man. I'm going to rewatch the movies this week, the two Ant-Mans, because I feel like I have everything I need to rewatch, because obviously between now and February, rewatch the whole MCU. We're going to do a rewatch now. I think I'm tempted
including
to
the TV projects?
If I can fit it in. If I can fit it all in. But no, I will start with Ant-Man 1 and 2 just on their own, because I just want to... Especially the second one. I feel like... I haven't been harsh on Ant-Man and the Wasp. It just didn't leave an impression on me too much.
I liked it better because it was free of the shackles of the Edgar Wright hangover of the first one.
Aside from the third act, I really like the first one. Really, really like the first one. It's just the third act and the villain.
But that whole film is what could have been. You're like,
of course,
of course. Would this have been under?
If it was Edgar Wright and if it wasn't MCU constraint, and it could have been, Edgar Wright's got a flawless filmography anyway. But that could have been, what could have been, but we got Wakanda Forever instead, and that's a worthy trade.
Love it. Love this film. What do you guys think of Black Panther Wakanda Forever? Obviously, it's been out for a while, but let us know in the comments below your thoughts.
How many times have you watched it?
How many times have you done it at the moment?
No, I've done it 4 times. I've done it 4 times.
I've
done it 4
two.
times. Two. Yeah, good. Yeah.
It's good, man. It's good. And it's, the first MCU film to make me cry since No Way Home.
Yeah, I was literally on the by the post credit. I literally had to breathe. My friends were like, "You're right." I'm like, "Yeah, that was Steve."
No, I was kind of like, because I was just so in it, I was like,
"Whew."
Yeah, it was just like the sweetness of that thing. But like the last time was the stuff with Aunt May and No Way Home.
Yeah, that was devastating.
Because it's another great character arc for a young kid in this world dealing
relatable
with this
kid.
shit.
Yeah.
And the bit that really gets me in No Way Home, it's when like he's obviously like trying like me, like get up, Mary, and it's when Happy gets there, when it's from when he first sees her, like knowing that obviously like she's dead, and then obviously but being in the way to give Peter enough time to get away, and it's like Peter's like trying to say goodbye or like trying to process it, and Happy's just shouting like Peter run, and it's like I'm like thinking about it now, like it's just because it's like he's just lost the one remaining person that loved him and knew who he was, and the last person that knows who he is in the universe, because obviously with the spell, and he's just got to leave her there, and it's horrible.
Yeah God
damn
it. God damn it.
Yes.
What a bleak way to end it.
What a bleak way to end. What's your favourite death?
Get a tissue.
To quote Christian, to quote Stephen Moffat when talking about, I think it was either Twice Upon a Time. It was Time of the Doctor. Well, we're going to take a very popular character and kill him at Christmas. Good night.
He certainly did.
You can get in contact with us at Pace to Shoot across Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, and other such endeavours if you do so wish. We're kind of like, we're on cruise control as we get in this year, and we want to come back and just put a lot more into it,
energy
from the restart. Once we come back after Christmas, I think our 5th year shall be our most prestigious.
Yeah, fair enough.
But who knows, eh? Only time will tell. But you can, in the meantime, send an electronic mail
to nerdbiblecontact@gmail.com.
And as always,
/ Laszlo.
It is a pleasure to be joined by my good friend, and for you, the audience, to have wasted your evening. Until then,
sayonara.
Amigos.